So I took this course at the community college when I lived in Los Angeles, and it was about color theory. And we learned these colors here are mixed from water-based paints. So I had to take this class. I failed it the first time, so I had to take it over again. This is a color wheel showing the different variations on colors. There's different overlays. So it's something that, you know, we had to mix the colors together and do different experiments with paints to get the variations on colors. We only had we had black and white, and then we had magenta, yellow, and cyan as our basis to work from. Now each one of these little squares had to be cut individually and then pasted down. So it took me a lot of time to do this. I did use the X-Acto knife and cut all everything out. This is a composition I did in the class. We just kind of had to make a shape and then color it in with the variations on using variations between, you know, like mixing yellow and red to get, or magenta together, and cyan, which is turquoise. Yeah, teacher she would put this paper over and then comment about, you know, the work. So it was an interesting class. You know, before, this is the time when everything was going to, before computers, all the graphic arts had to be done by hand, you know, it had to be, and photographed, photography, so that's the time period that I took this course in. So we didn't have computers to use in the class. Just the paints. So here we're showing a variation in the amount of a pigment. So there's cyan and there's orange, and I'm showing from mixing cyan and orange. Here is magenta, and I'm mixing magenta with green, and then I'm getting all the variations between. You know, you start with 100%, and then you 90, and then 80, and then 70, 60, so on, or 20% increments. I forget what I did this. Same thing with the. Here's purple and here's yellow. So what I did is I mixed the yellow and the purple together and got a variation all the way up. So, and you know, that's what I'm doing here in the color wheel also. We only had the paints that we were given we had yellow, cyan, and magenta paints. So these three, and then we had white. So white, we had yellow, cyan, and magenta. Those are the ones that we had to do everything from. So we had to show, like, you know, mix them together, show what they combine, what they get on average. So as you mix yellow with cyan, you get the different gradations of green. As you mix cyan with magenta, you get, you know, blue, and then purple, and then, you know, violet, and then magenta, and then you mix magenta with yellow and you get all these variations. And then if you mix white or black, it gets lighter or darker, which this is black, so we're mixing these colors with black to get a variation. As you get more towards solid black, you get darker hues of that particular color. So we did the three bases, and then we mixed them with black, and then we did the variations and mixed them with black to get a variant into the center. And same, you know, opposite with the white paint. We used the white paint and we mixed it with, you know, the primary colors. As you mix it with primaries, then it would change in lightness. Yeah, I failed this class the first time and I had to take it over, so I did a lot of... I found out too late that people were using hair dryers to dry the paint, so they were getting their work done a lot faster than me. And I wish I would have known that in the beginning of the class. I could have done these assignments a lot sooner, because I was slow. Because I was waiting for the paint to dry. You know, this took a long time in the class. Here was black and white, you know, showing different values that change when you mix black and white together, and how it, you know, goes into the different grays. One's warm and one's cool, meaning that a little bit of red in the gray shades, or a little bit of blue in the gray shades. That either makes it warm or cool when you're mixing the paints. And here's a other paint swatches that were so how I made these is I painted individual swatches, and then I would cut them out with a scissor or an X-Acto knife, and then glue them down with rubber cement. So there's another demonstration of mixing the paints to get a variation on the colors. You know, the instructor marked these up. Yeah, her name was Laura Ann Gilchrist. She had worked for Lockheed as a illustrator there, so she taught the course at the community college in technical drawing, and she taught a course in color theory also. That's what this is from. So same thing, I would actually take the pigment, and I would paint it down on paper, and then I would cut it out, and then glue it down with rubber cement at different, mixing the paint in different proportions. So that would be like, you know, a little bit of black, a little bit more black. Keep adding more and more black till you get pure black, and that would be pure white up there, or close to it. I don't know why it looks that way. That's more the way the white should look. But in this assignment, we had to mix white and yellow and get the middle, and then we mixed black and white and got the middle, and we mixed black and yellow and got the middle, and then we did the average here. In this assignment, we used magenta, and we had to mix magenta and white, and we got the variant. We got magenta and then black, and we got the middle variant, and then we mixed black and white, and we got the middle variant, and then in here is the average of the three here, which took me a lot of time because the people that were able to do this faster had a hair dryer, so they were able to dry their paint faster. So that's why I had to take the class over again. So here we mix magenta, white, magenta, black, and get the variants here, or the combination of those in the half and half proportion, you know, of that. So anyhow, I just thought I'd let you share that with you. You guys are interested in art and that sort of thing. Thanks for listening.